Okay, so cross your legs at your mid-shins once you come seated on your blankets, and then lean over one side to the other. Take your hand, upper hamstring, lower buttock, rotate out and draw back. Do that on both sides. And let's make sure that we're seated right in the center of the blankets instead of all the way forward or all the way back, but right in the middle, right in the center. And once you get your legs crossed at your mid-shins and you've adjusted the buttock flesh, look down at the center of the kneecaps. Make sure that they move out towards the top edge of your yoga mat. So that extension moves from the inner thigh through the inner knees all the way down into the inner heels. So if you were to do a dorsiflex of your feet, you could actually feel this articulation at your hips, yes? And then as you exhale the breath, relax the feet. Bring your fingertips to your blankets or your mat or your blocks. Press down, lift your side rib cage. Keep your elbows bent here. Make sure the very tops of your shoulders move down away from your ears. Draw your abdominal wall back, your tailbone down. Bring your hands to your heart center. Keep your chin parallel to your mat. Next exhalation, close your eyes. Center yourselves here using your breath. So as you inhale, we want to see if we can bring our breath so that it's even. The inhalation and the exhalation become even. One way that you can do this is you can count the inhalation and then count the exhalation to make sure that they're the same length. As you inhale your breath, move your inhalation out into your outer rib cage. Empty your lungs completely with your exhalation. A few more rounds of Ujjayi breath. Keep the lungs open, the collarbone open, and the shoulders stretched down away from the earlobes. I'll chant Om. Join in, or you're welcome to just listen. Om. Exhale your breath, bow your head, bring your chin to the groove of your neck. Keep your breastbone lifted towards your chin. Release your hands. And as you exhale the breath, you can center your head. You'll open the eyes and release the hands. You can stay on your blankets. Let's just move forward to the front edge of the blankets. And since we moved, we've got to adjust again the lower buttock flesh. You can use blocks, one right outside of the right leg, one in the left hand. You'll move the block first forward out in front of you under the left hand, and with your next exhalation, you can move the block over, line it up with the foot that's in front. So for me, I'm lining the block up that's under the left hand, right in front of the left foot. Press down with your fingertips into the block to your right and move your weight over into your outer left hip. So your outer left hip should stretch down towards your blanket as your weight moves over to the left. So with your fingertips, your right fingertips press into the mat or into the block, and then move your weight strongly over to the left. And then as you exhale the breath, grip the block, bring it back towards you. Perfect. So usually what happens, guys, is maybe if I turn to the side, you can see a little bit better. But usually as we move over into the opposite direction with the arm, watch the right sitting bone. And I'm going to exaggerate so that you guys can see. But this tends to happen. Do you see? And it gives the torso a little bit of leeway to move out, and the hips are not even. So we want to move our weight right over into the outer leg to keep both of the sitting bones grounded, both of the upper legs grounded, so that you're able to really stretch the spine and twist, okay? So let's uncross our legs and recross opposite. And then adjust the buttock flesh once more. So I think that was the same way. So cross opposite, use blocks or not, but lift the side rib cage, take a slight twist to the left fingertips, the left elbow stays bent, left fingertips on the mat, Walk the right arm out in front first, kind of center of your shin bones. With an exhalation, slowly move the right hand over in front of your left kneecap. And then you'll keep walking the right arm out, push down with your left fingertips, and move your weight over to the right. So you can think of doing this with your outer hip bones. Move your outer left hip bone over towards your outer right hip bone, so that you feel lots of grounding in both of your sits bones, both of your leg bones. See, guys, if you can get your arm out there a little bit deeper. See if you can bring the front of your body really close to your inner knee. Great. And then again, push, lean over to the right, draw the outer right hip down. Great. And then exhale, release. You can bring your blocks back towards you. Perfect. And then let's go ahead and let's stretch our legs out. And again, we'll adjust the buttock flesh. And I'm going to forward fold in Paschimottanasana. So if you guys need a strap, make sure to have one. Otherwise, let's take our arms out in front of us. This is Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, stretch your arms up, and we'll use our arms to lift our side body. As you exhale, draw your leg bones down, draw your heels down, reach forward, grab your feet by the heels. So take your hands to the heels of your feet. Draw into the heels of your feet with your hands. Lift your side body and exhale, fold. Wind your elbows out to the sides as you fold. So your elbows go out to the sides and almost up towards the ceiling. But your leg bones move down, your outer hips move down, and your hamstrings, the backs of your upper legs, draw back. Draw back. So you're folding yourselves in half. Great. And then inhale, stretch up, lift through your side rib cage. Shoulders always come down. And then exhale, release. Very good, guys. One more time. Move or adjust the buttock flesh. You can repeat this with a strap, or this time when I take the arms out, I'm going to interlace the fingers. I'm going to see if I can get the interlaced fingers around the feet. And so then I want to draw the fingers out and away from each other and really open up the thumbs. So I'm going to keep the hands like this, really spread your thumbs, and I want you to push your backs of your hands forward, stretch your arms, bring your heels down, your leg bones down, engage your leg bones, engage your kneecaps, and bring your hands around your feet. Keep that interlace. Now press into your hands with the outer feet, pinky sides of your feet, the base of your pinky toe joint. And as you exhale your breath, draw in with your hands, press your feet into your hands, and then fold. So you're using your hands into your feet and your feet into your hands at the same time. Use this to lengthen your spine, make your spine longer. Take an exhalation of your breath and bring your spine into your body. The terminology that Mr. Iyengar uses, bring your dorsal body in, meaning bring the entire back of your body in or down towards your mat. And then inhale, stretch up. Keep that interlace of your fingers, and exhale, release. Great. So the work really, and what a lot of teachers tell you guys is, you can get further forward sometimes by moving the legs apart, because the more of an internal rotation of your legs that you can do, the longer your spine can get. You see? So it has to work in combination. So let's try it one more time, and we'll bring our feet a little bit apart and see if we can really take the rounding out of the spine. So when I say bring the spine in and up, it's like this. It's into the body as far as you can bring it, and then up. So your torso and your side ribs stretch up as if you're going to move your torso out of your waist completely. This time your feet are a little bit apart, maybe hip distance apart. And then let's do a dorsiflex of the feet. So draw the 10 toes back. Stretch the arms out. As you exhale the breath, make sure you're rolling your thighs outer to the inner. Reach forward, grab your heels once more. Your feet are apart. So again, rotate from your outer thigh to your inner groin. You can see now you've got your heels of your feet with your hands, or you've got a strap around your feet. Draw your big toes or rotate your big toes in to touch. Now draw into your heel bones, moving your leg bones back. Great, great, great. See if you can lengthen up, straight up towards the top of your head, and with your exhalation, fold. See if you can spread your front ribs, your back ribs, and remember, the base of your big toe joints are together, your heels are apart. See if you can really kind of emphasize or overemphasize the rotation of your inner thighs down. So really roll your inner kneecaps down, roll your inner thighs down, hold your feet snugly. Now bring your spine in and up. Great. And then inhale, stretch up. Perfect. And exhale, release. Excelente, guys. So I'm going to do a spinal twist, and I've got one block behind me already, just behind my blankets. And I'll come to the edge of the blankets with the lower buttock flesh. So make sure that the lower buttock flesh is what's at the blankets. Take the legs and separate the feet. Bend the left knee, and you'll bring the top of the left foot on the mat. And I've got to come forward here to bring the outer left foot against the mat. Do you see? So the outer left knee and the outer left leg are grounded, and this kneecap moves straight out in front. And then you'll lean over to your left, lean as far as you need to, grab your right leg, bring your right foot over, and place your right foot right outside of your left leg. And then make adjustments on your blankets. So we're not going to twist right away, but what I want us to do is I want us to take both hands to the outer right knee and draw the outer right knee in. Draw the outer right knee in. Hold the right knee in. Move your belly button to your right thigh bone. Now, take your right hand in an L shape, draw your hip down and forward, and then twist to the right. Once you twist here, you could take your right hand to your blankets behind you, to your block behind you. Take your left hand and really rotate the inner right knee in to the left. Draw the outer right hip back, twist to the right. And then exhale to the center and release. So you've got to use really both of your feet. Sometimes we do this against the wall. Anyway, so again, you're at the edge of your blanket, separate your feet. When you bend your knee, try to get the very top of your right foot, which moves over underneath your left sitting bone. Think of that right foot, right toes line up under your left sitting bone, and then that right knee goes forward. You see, so my heel and my left sit bone are in a line. And then lean over to your right, and you'll bring your left foot over. Now, it can easily be here, right? But we want to really open up this outer hip. So I'm going to hold on to the knee and draw the outer left leg in. Do you see? When I do that, and when you do that, go ahead and let the hip come up. If it needs to, like this, let the bottom come up. And then we'll work L shape in the left hand, draw down and forward and ground the left sitting bone. Now you want to keep this leg in, so don't release it and twist. Keep holding it in, and with your twist, you're going to draw your outer left knee and your outer left hip back. Left hand can go behind you to the blanket or to the block. Great, great, great. Make sure to press down into the foot. Great. And then exhale, gaze to the center. Perfect. And release. Go ahead and stretch your legs out here, and you can even shake your legs out for a moment. Now, all week I've been wanting to do this, and I have no idea why. But I'm going to take a strap, and I'm going to move off of the blanket. I'm going to put these, I'm going to use these two blankets. I'm going to do Supta Baddha Konasana to Supta Virasana. And neither one, Supta Baddha Konasana is great. Supta Virasana challenge, okay? So I'm going to fold one of my blankets like this, and that's going to be for my spine. My second blanket is just going to go like that for the back of my head. Now listen, guys, you can also, if you need more height than this, you can take a couple of blocks, and you can put those blocks at whatever level that you need them. Say you want them something like that, right? And then you put your blanket over, right? And then that second blanket goes on the top, and that's just going to be for the back of your head. So that's how the setup can look If you need more height, add either additional blankets or use blocks instead to replace. And I'm going to sit in front of my prop. We're going to keep the same prop for both poses. And I'm about a fist distance away from my props with my fist behind me. And then I'll bring the soles of my feet together and make a big loop in my strap. And once I get this loop in my strap, and we won't be here very long, I'll place the strap over the head, over the shoulders, and down to the lower part of the back, right at the buttock, right above the buttocks, yeah? And then I'll bring the strap underneath the outer feet, and then I'll snug the strap up. So what I've done is I've brought the loop to the side, to the right, and I've brought it so that it's facing me so that I can adjust the buckle easily. If I wanted to, I can make it looser or I can make it more snug. And then you'll lean forward and again, make sure you adjust the strap. So you'll see that this strap goes right over the upper leg bone. It goes around the back and it goes right over your upper leg bones and then to your outer feet. Can you see how that wraps around my outer feet? Good. I can't hold this very long. So you want to kind of draw your feet forward and let the strap draw your leg bones that direction towards your toes. You'll bring your hands down. You'll scoop your sacrum and your tailbone and then recline. Oh, feels so good. And then the back of your head again comes down to that blanket. And you make any adjustments again. You get the back rib cage to move away from the spine. You can kind of wiggle your feet forward and you'll feel the strap really give some space at the hip flexors. And I'm just going to start by holding the mat and kind of rolling the shoulders back and down. You should feel your sits bones have moved away from one another and the flesh of your buttocks is moving down towards your feet. You can go ahead here, guys, and use your hands to your backside, lift your bottom and draw your buttock flesh down. You can also wiggle your feet forward, letting the strap move your upper leg bones down. That's it. Feel your shoulder blades. Your shoulder blades should separate. They should separate. So your spine is supported either with a blanket, couple of blankets, or blanket and block. Good, 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 good. Draw your abdominal wall down very gently, nothing else. Just draw the belly down. Let's stretch our arms up and over the head. And with an exhalation, go ahead and hold the elbows with your hands. And you want to stretch the tips of the elbows back over the head and then bring the arms down. See if you can really feel that the space between your hip points and your armpits has changed or is open. Notice that your shoulder blades are moving into the back. Great, 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 great. Keep the belly button drawn down. And you can, when you do this, you can also bring your outer feet against the mat and use that kind of weight to deepen that length of your sacrum and your tailbone. Release your elbows, stretch your arms out again, and switch the way you grab or hold the elbows. Try to get as much of your hands to the tips of your elbows. Tuck your outer arms in, though. Use your fingertips, your hands, tuck your outer arms in. And then extend up. Use your hands to kind of pull the tips of your elbows towards the wall or towards the back edge of your mat. Great, great, great. See if you can get that length in the arms. Perfect. And then release. You can release the elbows again. Let your arms go out to the sides and rest for a moment. See if you can let your inner thighs relax some, your outer hips relax. If this is extremely intense, you can add blocks or pillows or anything to your outer hips. So if this is really intense on your hips, You can kind of modify this by adding props to the lateral buttock flesh. Few more seconds. Remember, the more that you kind of move the feet forward, and that strap is around the outer feet, but as you move your feet forward, the strap will move your thigh bones away from your hip points. And I just want you guys to notice that action. And can it be recreated? Right? And then let's go ahead and bring our elbows down onto the mat. And then use your arms. You can grip your yoga mat with your hands, your outer mat, and then press yourselves up to seated. You'll take your straps off, and remember, it goes over your head. If you need to loosen it, do so, but take it over your head and just put it to the side. And then we'll stretch our legs out. And I'm going to go ahead and recline back against my prop with my legs straight for a moment, just like this. Before we go into Virasana, we'll just come lying down with straight legs, arms out, even arms up and over the head. And you're trying to really, again, get length and open up at your hip flexors. So once you've taken your arms up and over your head and you've gotten that length, just let your arms rest out to your side. Keep your legs together, though. So you're not overactive in your legs, but they are active, meaning that they are together. And you should feel like the buttock flesh, really it's the back, the center of the back of your head. From that space, the flesh moves all the way down the back of your body and into the heels of your feet. Now the flesh from the front of your ankles, up your shin bones, up your kneecaps, up the quadriceps, and the front of the pelvis and the chest, the breastbone, the navel, this space lifts. It goes up. And then go ahead and bring the elbows down and come up. When you sit for a moment and we'll go Virasana. We're starting to get a little bit more challenging here. I've got a blanket down for comfort. You could do the same thing. If your knees go up really far in Virasana, one thing about Supta Virasana is the more height, the better. So if your knees happen to go up and you have another blanket, you can use this under the knees. So I'm going to show you how you'll come into Virasana. So I'll come over onto kneeling, Supta Virasana. And then I'll come kind of in front of the prop with the inner knees, inner thighs, this internal rotation, bottom down. And then I'll sit. And I want to bring those outer hips down inside of my inner heels and flatten the tops of my feet. So avoid this rolling in or rolling out, but you want to press down. Keep watching, guys. I'll grab the mat and I'll kind of scoot forward one knee at a time. And then I'll lift up and I'll really tuck my sacrum. You'll really feel this in your quads. So I'll really tuck the sacrum. And then again, I'll come recline. I'll start by, you've got to tuck. So if you need to use your hands, you draw the buttock flesh down. Another thing that you can do here to kind of clear this space here is lift up and just extend the knees like this, one knee at a time. And then lift and tuck the bottom, see if you can get the feet together. And we'll first press into our heels, and then we'll do this whole thing here, okay? I have no idea why I've been wanting to do those two poses in combination. I don't know, restorative? We're kind of moving out of restorative. Now, in Supta Virasana, guys, you shouldn't sit on a prop. Your bottom should not be on a prop. What the best thing will be to do is to make the prop that you're going to recline on higher with either more blankets or pillows or even into the seat of a chair, Sarah. So if you couldn't get down, remember, you could turn a chair upside down, a yoga chair, and recline into that. And if it's just going to be totally impossible for you to recline, no matter what, stay seated in Virasana. You're not on your heels and your bottom is descending. Your bottom is dropping into your yoga mat. That's it, Audrey. You guys can take your hands and you can draw from the top of the buttock to the lower buttocks. Yes, you should feel a big stretch in your quadriceps. You may feel a stretch at the front of your ankles. Take your hands, take the heel of your hands to the heels of your feet. And this always lightens this pose for me. This always takes some intensity out of this pose for me. So take the heel of your hands and push them into the heels of your feet. And see if that doesn't lighten it via the quadriceps. Yeah, it takes a little bit of the stretch out of the quad. It's still stretching as much, but your weight is lightening the intensity. So see your shin bones press down, your feet press down, and your bottom tucks, tucks, tucks. Take your arms up over your head, Urdhva Hastasana. Use your arms to lift your side ribs, and then exhale, bend your elbows, hold the tips of your elbows. Extend out. Again, the space at the hip points to the armpits should change. It should open up. Mainly the chest should lift. Now, you're in a back bend. Supta Virasana is a back bend. Lengthen your sacrum and your tailbone. Yes, your quadriceps stretch. And then release your arms, stretch them out fully again, and then switch the way you hold the arms, the elbows. And then extend the tips of your elbows out. And again, you should feel the side rib cage stretch. The breastbone moves up. Great. Few more seconds, guys. That's wonderful. Try not to arch your lower back. It's kind of easy to do. Try not to arch your lower back here. See if the tips of your elbows will move further out over your head and you feel the backs of your arms stretch as well as your side body. And then exhale to release. Perfect. You can release your elbows. Go ahead and bring your elbows to your mat. And then press down with your bent elbows. Grip your yoga mat with your hands and bring yourselves up. Come up and sit for a moment. Now, when you sit in Virasana without the blanket, draw the bottom down. Draw the bottom down and move the belly button back. Now, how are we going to come out of this? I'm going to come forward. There's a couple of different ways. I'm going to come forward onto my hands and my knees, cross my ankles behind me, take my feet wide, and then I'll sit on the yoga mat, kind of roll the bottom back, and again, stretch the legs out and recline once more. Again, there should be length at the back of the body so you can lift and tuck. You can take your arms out, rotate the thumb sides of your hands down to the floor, and then see if you can stretch your right arm out to the right and your left arm out to the left. You'll feel this opening in your chest. You can keep the base of your big toes together, but then see if you can relax the legs, relax the bottom. And then go ahead and you can bring your elbows down to your mat, grip your yoga mat with your hands, and bring yourselves up. And for a moment, you can take your hands, maybe your fingertips here, and we'll press and lift. Let's do a dorsiflex of the feet to really open up the backs of your knees. Do a dorsiflex. So your calves get a little bit longer here. Perfect. And then go ahead and exhale to release. I'm going to move my blankets to the side. I'm going to keep that one blanket that I had over my blocks, and I'm going to come over onto my hands and knees one more time. And I've got this little bitty blanket, little bit of a blanket edge, and that's going to just be for my forehead. So when I bring my forehead down, I want to tuck my chin towards the groove of my neck so I get a little space there, and then I'll walk the arms and the hands out. I'm going to keep the elbows lifted, and again, keep pressing my bottom, my leg bones, and my shin bones, my femur bones, and my shin bones down. So this is another way that you can really get some length in your spine by using your shins and using your femurs. Good. And for now, we're going to keep our elbows lifted, meaning that your elbows, the backs of your elbows are away from your yoga mat. The inner eyes of your elbows are rotating up. Do that for just a moment. And then with your next exhalation, go ahead and bend your elbows and just let them rest on the mat. Keep your forehead against your blanket. And if your forehead doesn't reach that blanket, you can make the blanket a little bit bigger. It doesn't have to be as low or as small as it is. Perfect. And then you guys go ahead and you can bring yourselves up. Move your blanket to the side. Let's do dog pose. So I'm just going to come over hands and knees, separate the fingers, take the knees back and apart, and then bring yourselves up. So you'll come up nice and slow. And here, stretch your arms out. And now, can you guys make space at your hip points? So we have that space at our hip points, remember, in first Supta Baddha Konasana and then Supta Virasana. So move your thigh bones back and still move your torso out of your waist. That's great, guys. See if you can find some evenness between your hands and your feet. Perfect, perfect. Perfect. And then go ahead and you can exhale, release, and come down and rest for a moment. You can rest in child's pose if you'd like. I don't know why I have so many blankets here, but you guys rest there for a moment. Okay, and then you guys go ahead and come up. I don't know why I've just, all of a sudden I want to do arm balances. But before we go there and we get wild and crazy, I'm going to come kneeling. Again, I'm using the front of the feet grounded and the shin bones grounded to bring the middle of the buttocks in, the front of the pelvis up like this. And let me turn so that you can see this one from behind. So this is just like a little exercise, and if you want to blanket down, you can have it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to step up and turn the right toes out, and then I want to really keep this top of the left foot grounded, and I want to do this with the L-shaped hand to really bring this outer hip down, just like this. I want to do the very best, get the sacrum in and the bottom down, and level out the front ribs. So the front ribs face forward. So from the front view, do you see how the hip points are really, both of them are pointing out at an angle? And what I'm going to try to do is keep this left foot grounded and level my hip points and bring the buttocks down. Y'all watch for a moment. I'll turn that outer right foot out to give that really nice, deep external rotation. I'll keep that, bring the foot in. Gonna try to keep the knee just like it is, and I'm gonna kind of roll my bottom up and towards the floor. I'm gonna kind of keep doing that roll and let this inner thigh roll in, just like this, internal rotation. So the sitting bone, instead of coming down towards the mat, watch where it goes, guys. It rolls up and over towards the low back. I'll press down through the left shin bone, right foot, and come up, and I'll lift the front of the pelvis up, just like that. See? So it's this rolling of the front of the pelvis up. So at the first time, I'm internally rotating, and do you notice I'm not doing this with the knee, but the knee is staying out, and I'm letting the elbows bend, and as I come up, I'm going to lift the front of the pelvis up, lift the front. So an interior lift of the front of the pelvis is what we're doing here. Okay, so your right foot, your right toes turn all the way out to the right. Make sure your left foot is grounded. Look at your right knee. See that it's moving out to the right. Tuck your left hip in. Find your 2 hip points and level them, top to bottom, side to side. And then come forward, roll your right sitting bone up to your low back, hands down on your mat, bend your elbows. Bend your elbows. So you roll down, keep the knee out, keep the knee extending out to the right. You can always do this when you're down with your elbows bent and your torso's moving towards the floor. Stay down, roll your right sitting bone towards your low back, and roll to your outer right foot. And see where your knee goes. Do that, guys. Roll to your outer right foot. Do that again. Roll to your outer right foot. Roll to the outer right foot. Lift the inner foot. That's great. Keep that. Notice that external rotation. Notice where it is. It's at the upper leg bone. Keep that external rotation. Try to bring your inner right foot down and then lift up, lifting the front of the pelvis. Lift the front of the pelvis. Bring the bottom all the way down towards the mat, especially the right sitting bone. And I want you guys to do this 4 times on the right side. Come forward, roll the sitting bone up, lift up. Do that 4 times on each side. Try to level those the hip points. Try to level your hip points so that they're not moving in different directions, or they're not out at an angle, but they're forward. Keep pressing into your outer right foot, Hannah. Outer right foot grounded so the knee won't come in. So the outer right foot can even press down as you lift up. So keep to the outer foot, guys. That will keep the knee in the hip in an external rotation. And then when you've done that 4 times, you've come down, rolled over, lifted up 4 times, switch sides. So there's a tendency for the knee, depending on the tightness of the hip, but especially when you come down, the knee has a tendency to do this. You see it's going in. So really what this is like signal of is that this hip is in an internal instead of an external rotation. And I want to go here. I want to go more to the outer foot to open up that knee so that it doesn't rotate in. And as I come up, drop the buttock flesh. Drop the buttock flesh towards the mat. And if you use buttock flesh, you may be able to get that sensation. Also, L shape. Do an L shape with your left hand, and do that when you're leaning forward. You can use your hand to roll that outer hip. So do that 4 times on the opposite side. Good. And when you come up, really try to get the bottom to the buttock flesh to descend. So posterior pelvis comes down and the interior pelvis comes up, and it has to happen at the same time. So when you're coming up, think buttock flesh down, pubic bone up. Buttock flesh down. Good, 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 good. Pubic bone up. Perfect. And then when you guys have done that, then just come down seated. And you can sit on your heels, or you can sit any way that you want to sit to rest for a moment. Make sure that inner knee stays back, and you feel that it should feel as if the left buttock flesh is long, like it's dropping towards the mat. And then when you get done, rest any way that you want. Maybe you don't want to rest like this, so just sit on your mat if you'd like to. And we'll do kind of a variation of a Parighasana to start. So for Parighasana, And if you're not done, don't rush. Go ahead and finish because it'll take me a second. I'm not going to use a blanket, but again, we start kneeling. Going to come onto the right foot and try to line the front rib cage up so the front rib cage moves forward. And then I'll take the arms out and I'll lean over. When I lean over, I want to bring the left arm to the ear like this and use my right arm into the inner knee to keep the knee back, but also to turn the chest up. Okay, so we're just trying to get a lot of length in that left side body. So use a blanket if you like. If you want to kneel down on a blanket, that's fine. And then go ahead and come kneeling. Bring your right foot up. Make sure you've got length in the inner right thigh and you're tucking the right buttock in. And once you get here, level your hips. Take your arms out with your palms up. Now lean over to your right. Let your right arm come down. Bring your left arm to your ear. And as you lean, now let your right arm, and I didn't do this, but let it be a little bit heavy. That's it. Now you can grab your ankle or grab your shin, but press your right arm into your inner right knee to keep your knee back. Now begin to turn your chest up. Bring your bottom in, guys, and press into your outer left hip as well. Great. And then exhale, release. Perfect. Come down. And we'll come back through kneeling. So you'll come here, back to here, and see if we can kneel for a moment. And you bring your hands to your hips and then lift the left foot. Go ahead and see if you can get it there in a nice angle, 90-degree angle out. Then you've got to level out your hips. So sometimes when you're trying to level out your hips, the knee does that. It goes with you. So that left hip point forward, bottom in, arms out. Now lean over and I'll start, bring the right arm to the ear and then let your left arm be a little bit heavy until it moves down far enough for you to catch the shin or to touch the floor. Good. Good. Now the top arm is in at the ear. Press them into one another and see if you can lengthen out your side. That's great. Tuck your bottom in, guys, and turn your chest up. Perfect. And then exhale to release. Excelente. Excelente. You can go ahead and stay on your mat. And I'm going to come down, and I think for this one, I'm just going to put a blanket down on the yoga mat. And that's just for comfort. It's not something that you have to do. But I am going to use a wall. So what I'm going to do is the side angle pose, but lying down on my mat. So what I'm going to do, it's the arm balance one, and we'll move up. We'll go further up. So I've got my feet stacked, one on top of the other, and I want to be right on that outer hip. And that's tough, because if your bottom sticks back, you're out of balance. So remember, to get the balance, you've got to stack the hips. And then I'll come down. I've got to stretch that arm. This is my tight arm. I've got to stretch it out and see if I can get that entire outer armpit to the mat. And then I'll bend and hold the ear. And I'm going to take these toes behind me. And then I want to push the wall and bring that outer left foot down. Bring the bottom in. You see, so I want the elbow lined up with the shoulders, probably not, but I'll be able to tell you guys if it's not. So I want to start here, just like this, and I don't want to rock back and forth. I want to try to stay here, and then I'm going to try to come here. You can even hold on to your mat. Got to push the wall with your opposite foot, and then we'll see if we can come back and switch sides. Okay, so you're on your outer right hip, and the wall really is helpful for balance. So push both of your feet, stack them on top of the other, and your inner ankle bones can kind of come into one another as they're stacked. And then move your buttocks in. Now start by stretching your right arm out and take a straight elbow and lie your right ear on your upper right arm. And then see if you can open that outer armpit to the floor. For most of us, if you're really tight, it's going to stick up. You see, you'll have a lot of space underneath it. So if it's not grounded, don't feel bad. Nothing you can do about it right this second. So now that you've got yourself lying here, go ahead and bend your right elbow and bring the back of your right arm down. So see that your right elbow extends straight out towards the top edge of your mat. So you're bending and you're going to take your right hand to your ear. That's it. Now you want that right elbow to line up with your shoulder. Now bend your left knee, take your left foot behind your bottom and come onto your left toes. So you're pressing down through the base of your big toe. It's like a modified tree pose. See if you can get that foot all the way behind the buttock, maybe even touching the buttock. Good. Now, don't lean backwards here, guys, but stay right on your outer hip. Now see if you can find your balance here. Push your right foot into the wall. Bring your left foot inside of your inner right thigh, like a lying down tree pose. Good. Take the knee back. Remember, the knee goes back and the buttock goes in. Great. Now see if you can drop the foot down behind you once more. Perfect. Now you're going to flatten the foot, but you have it right behind the bottom, right behind the buttock flesh, and then release. So to release, you roll through the belly and roll over on your opposite side. Perfect. So you're on your opposite side. Now you're on your right side. Oh, wait, left side. And then do it just like we did before. You've got to stretch that left arm out, get it as long as you can. And that kind of outer part of the armpit should come down. And depending on tightness is where it may not come all the way down. And then bend your left elbow and bring your hand to your ear and let your head, you can hold your head with your left hand. So make sure that left elbow and left shoulder line up. And then go ahead and bend the right knee, take the right foot behind you, be on your toes the first time. That's it. Be on the toes the first time. Perfect, guys. Now try not to, and it's so difficult, but do the best you can not to roll backwards. Kind of use that foot at your bottom to keep you on your hip, you see, so you don't roll backwards here. And then you maybe even grab your yoga mat in front of you to keep yourself balanced. See if you can bring the foot to the inner thigh. Good. Keep the knee back. Now remember, the kneecap should point straight up to the ceiling. Good, 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 good. Perfecto. And then go ahead and bring the foot back down behind you. And this time you're flat on the foot with the inner foot to the buttock. Use the foot to draw the bottom in. Great, 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 great. And then you guys can exhale to release. Just roll over onto the opposite side, or you can roll over onto the belly. Now this is tricky, but let's see if we can do it. So maybe this side is better. I'll just have to do it the right way. So you may also be able to use a strap, but for me, what I've got to do is the toes that are at the wall, I'm going to kind of push with the base of the toe to keep me balanced. And then I'm going to bring the foot here and then see if I can maybe catch the toe or catch the foot. We should do it to the wall and then lift the leg. So another thing that you guys can do, maybe keep you a little more balanced, is you could take a couple of your blankets and bring them right behind your back, your bottom. So now you don't have your foot there to keep you balanced, but you've got your blankets there, so you shouldn't roll too far back. So now I have a little more comfort to maybe grab the foot or grab the toe. Okay, so try it. And if you can't do it, don't worry. Just maybe bend the knee just like we did the very first time. But something behind you, behind your bottom, does give you some balance. And I'm still talking and everybody's in it. Okay, exhale, release. Roll over to the opposite side. Everybody did it. Perfecto. And so when you come onto the opposite side, You can bring the hand to the ear. Try it the same way. If you can't grab the foot, maybe you grab the shin or use a strap. The blankets help quite a bit to keep you kind of supported here. Very good, guys. Very nice. Very good. Bring the bottom in, and remember you've got that external rotation, and then release. Perfect. Now there's one that we can do, and let's see if we can do this. I know that didn't really make sense. So what it'll be, so what we're going to try to do is come from Supta Padangusthasana into the pose, okay? So I might need to turn so you guys can see. We're going to do it opposite. So what we'll do is we'll come down, and maybe we use the wall too, but I kind of want you guys to see. Maybe I'll go back this way. Okay, so we come down, and you can use your foot at the wall, and I'm going to take the right leg up, and I've got the toe, and then I'm going to take the leg out. And then I want to really draw down on this left side. You can even take that left arm up. And then I'm going to roll all the way over onto the left side and try to come into the first pose that we did. So if we can't do it, at least it's fun, right? And so, and then don't hurt yourselves, okay? And like I said a moment ago, you can use a strap to your foot. So when you come recline, your left foot is against the wall with your left toes up. If you need a strap, use a strap. You shorten the strap as much as you can. Lie on your back and take your right leg up. Yeah, take your right leg up. Supta Padangusthasana 1. Grab your toe or grab your outer foot. And then as you exhale, take your right leg out to the right. Really firm up your left side. Firm your left side. Firm your left side. Let your right leg go all the way out and firm your left side. Now take your left arm up next to your left ear. Good. Stretch the left arm up next to the left ear. Now exhale the breath and roll over to your left. See if you can come up onto your left elbow. Keep holding your foot. Great. Great. And then roll back. Try to roll back with control. Come back to Supta 2. Nice, Audrey. And then you guys switch sides. Now, wasn't that fun? Not an arm balance, but it's fun nevertheless. Okay, so go the other direction, and I want you to focus on the leg that remains centered. So now it's you're moving your left leg up and out to the left, or wait, opposite. I don't know, whichever way it is. Once you get your leg out there, then roll over onto your side, that opposite side. And give a little momentum. What you have to do is press the foot up. You have to press the left foot up as you try to come up onto the right arm. Good, 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 good. And then roll back. Perfect. Yeah, so pressing the foot up when you try to roll over. Do y'all want to try it again? Somebody give me, all I need is one yes. Okay, got it. So try it again. Now let's see the catch. And I had the toe, but maybe you can get the foot. And I think what it is you kind of, as you get here and you're going to roll over, you kind of use a lot of push with your leg and with your foot that you're holding. Okay, so right leg up and then out, and then try to roll and try to remember to push into that leg that's up. That's nice. And then y'all switch sides. That was great, guys. Very nice. So 2 poses in 1. Perfect. Yep, go the other way. Perfect. Keep a deep external rotation on that left leg. Ground the right. Use your left leg, kind of kick it up to the ceiling to give you that pull, that momentum to lift up onto the right elbow. Perfecto. Perfect. And then you guys can exhale to release. Excelente. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and you guys can rest for a moment, and I'm going to do Bakasana just for fun. Not that anyone has to actually do the pose. So there's a couple of ways that I want to work on it. I think the first way is to come into Koot Koot Katasana standing up. So what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to take my feet a little wider than my hip distance, and I'm going to bend my knees really well. And when I bend my knees, I'm really trying to remember we talked about we've got to get that space here. So we have to get space between our hip points and our femur bone, hip flexor. So that space has to be very open, even though I'm folded over and it's flexed, it's compressed, but I still have to kind of create space there. And then I'm going to go underneath the backs of the legs, and then I'll just kind of wiggle the feet a little bit closer, let the head relax, and then do the very best that you can. Squeeze the inner arms into the backs of squeeze your inner knees into your armpits and hold here. And that's the first place we'll go. Okay, so you stand. If you have a blanket and you want to keep it, you can. But bend your knees really, really well and let your side rib cage become long as you bring the backs of your arms under your legs. Maybe you hold your heels or you hold the backs of your ankles. That's great, guys. Hold here. Keep your knees bent. That's so good, Krista. So really, your torso should be all the way inside of your inner thighs like it is for Krista there. Good. Audrey, turn your toes in just a teeny bit towards your midline, just a teeny weeny bit. Guys, bend your knees well. Bend your knees well. Give yourself plenty of room to get the backs of your arms underneath. And then let your head relax, let your side neck relax, let your torso relax. Draw your inner knees internally, rotate them in towards your arms. See how much you can straighten your knees. See if you can straighten. That's it. Press your feet. And then exhale, bend the knees and release. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to go again. Really, and this one can be done seated too. Got a little cramp back there. So I'm going to come here once more, just like we did before. And I think I'll even see if I can keep the knees bent, reach back and grab. Just like that. Relax the head. We'll go from there. I'll bring the base or kind of the thumb and the index around the heels. And I'm just going to sit. Okay. And then we'll see where we can get from that. Okay. So start back in Koot Koot Katasana. No, that's not Koot Koot. That's TT Basana. But have your legs, your feet apart, and then bend your knees. Don't unbend your knees. Keep your knees bent, and then see if you can wrap your arms up behind you and connect your fingers. That's it. You've got to bend the knees really well, and you connect the fingers. Good. And then let your head and your side body relax. And then exhale, release your interlace. Bring your hands behind your heels. So thumbs and index fingers around the heels, and then sit. Let the bottom drop. Keep the feet on the mat. Just let the bottom drop. That's wonderful, guys. That's great. And then release. Now, this can be done with or without blocks. So I'm going to put the blocks behind the feet, behind the heels, and I'm going to do that same pose. And my hands, heel of my hands are on the blocks, and my fingers kind of grip over the blocks. And here, if you don't want the blocks to flip, you really have to put a lot of weight in the heel of your hands, you see. So from here, I'll engage the abdominals, I'll engage the perineum, I'll engage the bottom, kind of lift it up, and then just see if you can get 1 foot up at a time. Now, if you can get 1 foot up at a time, you keep those elbows bent and see if you can press through to straighten and come back down. So here's the heel of the hand. That's what's against the block. Okay, so remember, you bring the blocks behind the heels, maybe you're an inch away, and then you bend your knees well. Don't be afraid to bend the knees well and get underneath the backs of your legs, heels of your hands down. Let your bottom drop for a moment. Just so we can see how heavy the bottom is. Not that we already don't know, but just as a test. Let your bottom drop. Now you engage your perineum. You kind of pull your belly button back and see if you can extend your knees. Maybe just your toes come up. Keep those elbows nice and bent, guys. Elbows stay bent. That's it, Audrey. Elbows bent. Great, great, great. And then exhale, release. That was so good, guys. Very, 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 very good. I'm going to take a blanket. Oh, this one isn't easy either, but it's another arm balance. So I've got my blanket here, and this is the last one, I promise. And I'm going to make it kind of a little bit bigger, like this. And I'm going to come down on this blanket with my heels on it and my feet and my inner feet together, my heels, my knees are together, and then I'll come here. Now the first thing is just going to be to bend and watch. Just take the back of the arm and press the shin bone back. And do that on both sides. Here. You can be here. This could be it. Or, watch, you're going to bring your hands forward. You're going to come tippy-toe. Squeeze your knees to the backs of your arms, and maybe we get one set of our toes up at a time. Or maybe not. You know, as people sometimes when practicing this, like at the studio, we'll put bolsters or blankets or something in front of you just so if you feel like you're going to tip forward. That's just a comfort thing. So you start with your feet at the edge of the blanket, and you have your inner feet together and your heels on top, and then come kneeling. And then separate the knees just a little bit and keep your inner knees to your armpits. And then bend one elbow at a time and press your shin bones back. And then maybe this is it. You can go further, move your hands forward, lift your bottom, come tippy toes. Just come as high onto your tippy toes as you can. And then one set of your toes up at a time, backs of your, or kneecaps on your arms. So nice, guys. And then release. So everyone got there. That's so great. Great, 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 great. Okay, just come down to seated, guys, because I don't know where, I have no idea where the time went, but it went away somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on my block. Well, that was fun. It satisfied my arm balance craving. And I'm going to do Baddha Konasana. I grab the right foot, take the left leg out. We'll just do this one for a moment. So this left leg, keep your sacrum against your block though. And then let your left, even if your left leg goes up high, you're not going to do this. So keeping your sacrum down means really drawing down onto your block as you let your left leg move around. And then eventually it'll come center and it'll come grounded. So start by holding your right outer foot. It's a big external rotation on your right leg, remember. Bend the knee down towards the mat. That's it, Sarah. So if that right knee can bend a little bit more and that right kneecap is making its way to the floor. And that's going to come with you pulling down on the outer foot. Keep that knee back. Remember our exercise earlier. Now your left leg goes out and it moves around. You can move it in small circles, big circles. You can move the foot up. You can move the foot down. Kind of just any little bit of movement that you want to get in that left leg. Excelente. Just to investigate the smaller muscles there. Perfect. Just a few more moments here, guys. And eventually your right kneecap will touch the mat. Eventually. And then bring your left leg center, and then bring your left heel straight down onto the mat. Keep your right leg and knee as it is. Good. Open up the quadricep. Open up the hip flexor on your left leg. Bring the thigh bone to the floor, left side, and then release. That's perfect, Andy. Perfect. You guys can release and switch. And I want to say we've done quite a bit of work on the quads tonight. So now you're holding your outer left foot and it's externally rotating. You want to draw down on the foot, trying to get that kneecap to move down as well. Great, 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 great. Now your straight leg, your right leg, you could take it out to the right. You could take it up towards the shoulder, towards the ear. You could keep it closer to the top edge of your mat, however you want to do this, but you can make kind of little small circles, or you could do more of a bigger rotation depending on how this feels for you. Good. It may be more intense on one side than it is on the other for you. If you have ever had a torn hip labrum, this is very difficult, especially on the straight leg. Especially on the straight leg. Good, 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 good. But this is a nice way to open up the front of your hips, as well as that kind of, we call it the front growing. Good, good, good. Few more seconds here. Perfecto. And then you guys bring that leg straight down onto the mat. You keep holding the left for a moment. Perfecto. And then you guys can release completely. Bring your feet down onto the mat. Lift your bottom up. And you can take your block away for a moment. And now you're just on your mat. You'll scoop your tailbone, or you'll tuck your sacrum. You'll tuck your tailbone. Let's see what happens if we press down our palms of our hands down into the mat. Walk your heels back close to your bottom, and see if you can, when you lift, think of opening up the hip point. So stretching your quadriceps towards your knees to lift as high as you can lift. Try to lift from the front of the pelvis. Bring the hips up. That's so good, guys. And you put a lot of weight on the backs of your arms and your outer arms, middle of your back in, and then come down and rest. Good. Middle of your back in. So go ahead and we'll stay as we are. We won't do that one again, but I want to give you guys an idea of middle of the back end. So just grab one block, 2 blocks actually, but one on the flat level. And that goes right between your shoulder blades. And then bring that one, the second one, behind your head. And then you get that kind of that lifting of your side armpit chest here. So when I'm saying, and yeah, maybe that'll give us a better idea. Start with 2 blocks. Start with 2 blocks. One flat one between your shoulder blades, and then one on the next level under the back of your head. And take your arms out. And this part here, it's the upper arms, and really here where you do your shoulder stands. This space should really go back. And as that happens, here at the scapula, it kind of draws down and tucks in. Yeah, so you're trying to get that lift in your chest. Good. Let your arms roll back. Let your arms roll back and down. Oh, now I don't know how good this is going to do, but go ahead and take your block that's behind your head. I guess this will work. And move that block out. and then bring the back of your head on the mat. Lift your bottom up. See if you can lift your hips up and keep trying to move your chest away from that block. So that block is still behind your shoulder blades, and you can hold your yoga mat, but you want to lift your hips up. Lift your hips up. That's it, Sarah. Keep lifting. Lift the hips and try to get those shoulder blades away from the block. Nice. And then release. Just come down and move your blocks out of your way. Perfecto. Let's take our knees up and take your arms out. Take your knees to the left and you can gaze to the right. Adjust your shoulder blades. You can bend the elbows and let the left shoulder blade move to the left. If you would like, you can hold that inner right knee down towards the inner left knee. And then come up and go over opposite. And you've always got to take a moment to readjust so your breastbone stays leveled with the ceiling. And then twist to the left. And that inner left knee, bring it down. That really gives some length in that, the lower part of your back around your waist is the part that becomes compressed from sitting. So that's the space. It's like right above the waist or right below the waist. Good, guys. And you guys can bring yourselves here back to the center. Good. Now let's stay centered, and we'll do our inversion here in a second. But maybe you're gonna need a strap. I think I did this without the strap, and you can if you want. But I'm gonna straighten my left knee, and just push my left foot into the wall, and then I'll bend my right knee up to the chest, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab the outer right foot with my left hand and then just extend this leg up. So, and you can use a strap as well. And I've got that left hand, guys, to the outer foot. Nice way to get that is to bend that right knee to your chest and then grab the foot. Yeah. And then really straighten that right leg. Just straighten it right up to the ceiling so you're not moving it over yet. And here I can rotate my right ankle. Do that. You're holding the foot or you're holding the strap, but really give the foot some weight and then rotate your right ankle. Just rotate it, keeping the muscles in your legs engaged. So you see, just like the ankle roll, you're just rotating the ankle a little bit. And then keep holding with your left hand, straighten your right knee, take your left leg over, and bring it back to the center. Take it over, bring it back to the center. And you're not going all the way over, you're going over just barely. Take it over a little bit, draw your outer hip down, take it a little further, bring it back to the center. Keep your left toe straight up to the ceiling. Take your right leg over a little bit more. Take it over a little bit more. Push the wall with your left foot. Take it over. You can even hold your yoga mat with your right hand. Draw the mat away from you. Take that right leg over. Keep going over, but keep your left toes straight up. Look to your right. Move your navel to the right. Keep going with that right leg. Keep your left toes up to the ceiling. And bring it back to the center. And bend the knee. Release and switch sides. Now the problem is I actually have I have no idea how many times we took it over. But I'll just make a guess, okay? So bend your left knee into your chest and grab your outer left foot with your right hand and straighten the knee, and you just have it straight here for a moment. That left thigh bone goes back. Now twirl your left ankle. Don't twirl it, but rotate it. And you're holding it too. You're just rotating. And when I do that, I really feel the back of my leg. I feel my outer left calf. I feel my outer ankle. And And I can also feel how that relates and how that connects into my hip, and take that connection all the way into the hip. And then let your left leg go over a little bit to the right, and then bring it back to the center. Let it go over once more to the right. Engage the leg. Don't let it be loose. Hug the muscle to the bone, and then bring it back to the center. Let it go over again. Keep your right toe straight up to the ceiling. Bring it back to the center. Let it go over to the right again. Engage the leg. Engage the muscle. Bring the bone to the back of your leg. Push into the wall with your right heel. So make sure your right toes stay up. Keep that left leg over. Keep your bottom towards the mat though. Left buttock to the mat. Keep going a little further. Little bit further. Engage the leg. Look to your left. Extend your left leg out. Roll your left hip down and let it go a little bit further. A little bit further. Make sure your toes are up to the ceiling, and then bring it back and bend the knee. And release. Perfect, guys. And go ahead and we'll come up for our inversion. So whatever inversion you want to take, if you want to do Shirsasana, that's fine. Or you could do legs up the wall or legs in a chair. You can use, if you're going to do legs up the wall, you can use a blanket underneath your bottom. If you're going to do headstand, you can use a blanket underneath you for your forearms and your head. You could even do handstand if that's something that you worked on and you're comfortable with. Most of you, if you have multiple blocks, you could do Shirsasana on a block. You could always, guys, just do the first kind of like the wall L, and Sarah's doing the wall L on her hands. You can also do the wall L on your forearms like a headstand. That's very, very nice, Sarah, very nice. I think your shoulder seems to be doing a little bit better. Your shoulder looks a little better. I know you had some shoulder stuff going on. It looks a little better. Is it the right shoulder? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the elbow was a little bit, and that's exactly with me too. It's so tight. And when you were in your wall L, the right elbow was a little bit, just showing a little bit of tightness. But I mean, I can't even do that. I can't. It's too much. My shoulder's too tight still. A lot better. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Okay, now I don't know where we are, what we're doing, but everyone come down for your inversion. So if you were in legs up the wall, then you can bend your knees, kind of push yourself back and come out. And if you were in Shirsasana or whatever else you were in, maybe release your head. But let's go ahead and we'll sit. And I'm going to grab this blanket. I'll do this. We'll do a fire log. So I've got a blanket in front of me, and I start in Sukhasana. I start in Sukhasana, a little bit away from my shin bones is my blanket. And then I'll bring my left leg on top, and I want to bring that outer left knee down. And then I'll take the right outer ankle bone and bring it over the knee. Now, a lot of times, if your bottom is going this way, your knee will be higher. Try to keep your foot where it is, but take your buttock and your outer hip back. Now, another way you could do it, guys, is you could start just with one side, like just the left side. Lift up and take your outer hip back. You could do that. You could even come forward with just that side. Now, if you can go deeper and you can get both of them crossed over, lift up, take your bottom up towards your low back, and then fold. So remember, you can do it one at a time if both is not going to work. That's it, Sarah. So Sarah, draw your outer ankle bone down and see if you can lift your bottom up and go back that way. Yeah, perfecto, perfect, perfect. And then you guys can come up and switch sides. Okay, so Sukhasana. And remember, if it's too much, you can just do it on one leg. And, I say just, like that's something that's easy, but even this is a challenge if your hips are tight. Sarah, that looks so good. And then you guys can come forward using both legs folded over if you can get that. And if you can't, do one. Or maybe you can get here but you can't fold. Perfectly fine. Stay where you are or go as deep as you can go. Nice, 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 nice. Very good. Few more seconds. Just a couple more seconds here, guys. Perfect. And then you guys can come up or come out of this. And if you want, you can move your blanket to the side or you could just stretch. You could come from here to here and just stretch your legs out over the blanket. And I just bring the hands down and maybe shake the legs out a little bit. And then from here, prepare for Shavasana. So you could keep this and come down onto your mat flat, or you can move this out of your way, come legs up the wall, or again, you just come flat down on your mat without any props. Use as many props as you would like, or as few as you would like. So I've got my feet to the wall with my 10 toes up, and I want to really bring my buttock flesh down so that I have my lower back closed into the mat. Sometimes that doesn't work, and you can bring a blanket under your knees or a bolster to give some height, to give more length in the low back. But come into Shavasana however you like to. And then when you get here, just take a moment to get comfortable, maybe moving the shoulder blades out away from the spine. The backs of your hands are against the mat or the floor, and the thumbs rotate down. And if you need to, you can cover with a blanket. Sometimes we use eye wraps to really bring that awareness, kind of tucking it inward a little bit. So if your eyes aren't covered or you don't have anything to cover your eyes with, see if you can just bring a teeny bit of heaviness into your eyelids and then let your eyeballs move away from your eyelids. So it's not a hard, forceful movement, but just a gentle encouragement to the eyeballs to move away from the eyelids. And then relax the muscles in the face, relax the upper and the lower jaw, relax the space between your ears. Check that you're not holding the breath, but that you are allowing the breath to be. Check that the abdominal area and all of the organs of the abdominal area are relaxed or heavy. And sometimes you have to take an exhalation to let the internal organs release or relax. begin to deepen your breath and move your awareness back into the room. Bring small movements into your fingers and into your toes when you're ready. And then when you're ready, bend the elbows here. Hands can come to the belly or to the heart. Stretch the arms over the head for a full body stretch. Bring the abdominal wall towards the mat here as you reach out through the arms. Then as you exhale your breath, release your arms to the side body. And you can bend your knees here, one knee at a time, and bring your feet up to the mat or to the floor. And then bring your knees into your heart. You can wrap your arms around your knees. Any movements here, side to side or front to back. And then you can roll over to your right here and hold in a fetal position. And then you can bring yourself up seated here using your hand to the mat or to the floor. Your hands can be at your heart center here. Take a moment in silence. Don't depend on something or someone outside of yourself to bring you happiness. Outside things will never make you happy. And it should be that way so that one day we realize that there is always someone to love and comfort us inside. Thank you guys very much for being here. Namaste.